So we're back. We're back now. So if you see that, look at that. So it takes around 13 minutes, 21 seconds to create the cluster, and the cluster gets created, and you have to have this getting created. And then if you see, if you look at down below, the outputs are going to be getting created. So this is the output which we configured, outputs.tf file, wherein it gives the cluster endpoint URL. This is the cluster endpoint URL through which you can access the cluster. So you can copy this, and then you can have these things open here in this case. So if you see that, and then advanced, and then proceed. So some of it's not getting, path is not correct. So you cannot just access this. You need to have this things ready, like this train, the cluster ID, cluster name, all these things are there. ARN is there, and then you can see this outputs getting created. So if you go into this case, you can see this cluster where these three nodes are getting ready here, and then you can see the workloads through which it's getting created. So the workloads are going to be, as I discussed earlier, the core DNS, and then AWS node is mainly running on the kube system namespace, and the kube proxy is the one through which it communicates with all of the AWS nodes. And the core DNS is for the lookup of the DNS lookup or DNS name services, for domain name services for the core nodes to be looked up. So that's about this cluster. And then if we go to the main page, where you see the cluster name, and you can see that status is active as I shown earlier, as I discussed earlier. And this is going to be the cluster name. So we have to set this cluster name in order for us to interact with the kube controller, using the kube controller. So that cluster name we are going to provide here using AWS EKS region. So the region is the US East 2, wherein we created the cluster, and we're going to update the kube config. So this will update our local kube config to point to the default cluster of training EKS, these QQ1M TKHs. That's the name of the cluster. So once we run this, it will update our local configuration. If you look at it, this is where the kube config is going to be there in our local. So this will differ from based on where we install our kube configuration, or Kubernetes, kubectl in our local environment. So once you do that, you can just type in the kubecontrol command with nodes. So that will list down all the nodes being created, and you can show this version as 1.8 as the version of the Kubernetes here for each of these nodes. And that's about it. That's how we are going to create this Terraform. So we're going to, now we're done with this Terraform. We can just deploy any load on that using the kube controller command, and then you can apply the kube controller and then using the YAML file and create the services, required services onto the Kubernetes cluster. So since we're using T2.micro, that's minimum load for us to just to set up the Kubernetes cluster. We're going to destroy that. So how do we destroy it? So you can use this Terraform destroy command in order to destroy this cluster. So it'll ask for the confirmation. If you say yes, it'll start destroying all this cluster related resources. So you can see that getting destroyed in a minute's time. See, destroys on each of these resources getting created. Start from the cluster getting created, which is getting associated with the route table. So route table need to be destroyed. Then the internet gateway, and then the policies, IAM role policies, route gateways, NAT gateways, and then the worker groups, worker group, worker nodes, worker 0, and worker 1, worker 2. All of them are getting destroyed here, one after another, in a minute's time. And then now we can have a look at this cluster getting destroyed. Gone. All the nodes are deleted or destroyed. And the workloads now it's going to remove the workloads now, each after that. So now the pods are stopped. Pods running there, the cluster are getting stopped, and then it's going to delete that pods as well as the pod deployment as well as. So that will take a few more seconds to delete it. So you can have a look at it anytime it goes there. See the status is deleting. So it's deleting this entire cluster. So within a minute time, it destroys the cluster. In the order it created the cluster. That's it. 54. That's right. Around 54 resources getting created by Terraform. Now 54 resources getting destroyed, and so that we can have a look at it. Done. So the cluster is done. So thanks for watching this video for the AWS, how we are going to create the AWS EKS cluster using Terraform, which is the infrastructure as code tool, which is cloud agnostic and easy to use. And we can create any number of clusters within minutes of time on the target Amazon Web Services cloud provider, cloud on any region. Thank you.